Good evening. Hello. Hi, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Decided to hop right on since Mama V left a minute earlier. Heartland HQ with Deke and Tank. Hello. Hello, Sid and Mike. LOL. Question mark ATN. I know. He may pop out. He may not. We'll see. It may just be me by myself. Story of my life. Right? Right. Old Man King Homestead. Hello, hello. How you doing? B. Patton says, hello, Auntie Anne. Hope you're doing well. Greg Cozier. Hello, everyone. What is going on? What's going on? Yeah. Mike actually, he even told me earlier, he's like, well, I might have to dip out of the live early. And I was like, you normally, a lot of times you're only in here for like 10 minutes. What do you mean dip out early? And I guess he's, his TikTok that he does, which is mostly about the garden and plant tips and things like that, just quick little things. He actually really enjoys doing that, and he's been doing it for a while now, relatively consistently, and he's got a decent amount of followers on there. I think he's like, I mean, by TikTok standards it's different, but he's got like, I don't know, close to 40,000 subscribers last time I checked. And he's making revenue on there, and he started to do like sponsorship deals on there. So he's got one that I guess he's got to film tonight. So that's why he was like, well, I might have to dip out early. So we'll see. Carl Lewis is the man with the plan. What's going on? Neil S. Hello, Sid, Mike, and Frankie. Hey, everyone. David Glunt. Hello, hello. Howdy, howdy, howdy. What's going on? David Glunt's been a member for 18 months. Look at that. I love it. Every time the live starts, you've already been talking. I know. I don't know. I'm always talking, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I noticed that too, because when I log in from my phone, in fact, I left my glasses. I left my glasses over here. Got my glasses, my readers. Anyway, oh, those are dirty. That did not help at all. They're just dirty. But so am I, so it's fine. Hello from the Netherlands, Rob. Hello. Let's see. How are all the critters, Sid? They're doing well. I I was actually working on the coop today, which is why I'm kind of nasty. I didn't even wash my hair. I haven't washed my hair in like, when did I wash my hair last? Sunday? And I've been working, sweating, doing whatever. And the dry shampoo can only do so much when you're like, my scalp gets wet. So sometimes like I'll dry shampoo and then blow dry it. Then I'm like, oh, I might as well wash my hair at that point. So I just threw it in a bucket because I knew I was going to be getting the coop and doing stuff. And I was going to move my turkeys, but I ran out of time. And like, I just was like, if I try to move them now in the late afternoon, that's going to be a mess. Like that's just going to be a mess. So I opted for waiting till either tonight to do it or in the morning. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to see how I feel later tonight after I get Frankie and all that. Alex, hello. Yes, you're on time for once. Look at that. But yeah, the animals are doing well. Everybody's doing their thing. In fact, when I came home from taking Frankie to church, there were 3 deer like right in front of the bay window here by the pear tree. It was a mama doe and 2 fawns with her that were out of spots, of course, but just still obviously very young and little. So I get commercials right at the beginning, so I always miss the first few minutes as well. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube, the ones that happen during it, I can skip, but the ones that they put at the front, I can't skip. You guys should be able to when it gives you that countdown or whatever, but I don't know. So I don't know what to tell you. Yes, Sporty said today I was out there working and sweating. Usually I try to do that, like my chore stuff in the morning, like before I shower, so the rest of the day I'm not like nasty. But today, because I was going to be filming and running into town and whatnot, I was like, get a shower and then get nasty and then maybe skip through the shower again before I go to bed tonight. We'll see. But I do, so here's the thing, guys. I have to apologize, you guys. We have not put out a video now since, I think it was August 20th was our last video that we posted on 3 Mississippi that wasn't alive. And there's been a series of unfortunate events that have led to that. So my apologies. But as of this Friday, I will have us back on schedule. I hit a snag with, it'll be on tomorrow, Sipping and Spilling. I get very frustrated. I have a love-hate relationship with sponsorships, as do most YouTubers, I think. They help pay the bills. They're part of the business, part of the income of YouTube. But they're almost never easy to work with, and there's almost always a problem, and there's almost always something, right? Either the product, you have trouble putting it together and getting it to work because it's just not your area of expertise, or they have a lot of criteria they want you to meet, or they try to change things up after you've signed a contract and act like you won't catch it, and ask for more stuff. Or they drag their heels when it's time for them to pay you, or they decide to change something about the brief that they gave you of what they wanted. Anyway, so I ran into that this week, which is why I didn't get a video out in the beginning part of this week. So very frustrating, but we've done a lot of it. That's the thing, is you guys probably think we're just sitting at home not doing anything. We've been working like crazy. I have a ton of footage. It's just there's pieces of stuff that I'm waiting to put all together. And so it's like anyway, but I will have a video out Friday. I will have a video out next Tuesday, and we'll be back on schedule and everything will be good. I promise. Me going out of town for a week really threw the whole system off, because I have a really good system normally. I keep us on a really good schedule really consistently. I had intended on getting us further ahead, but because of all the things that happened before I left, I didn't get us ahead, which meant that I was already behind when I got back. And Mike wasn't able to get anything filmed while I was gone, so that it snowballed. It just snowballed, and it happens. It happened. Take a bath once a month. I love it. Take a bath once a month. That's a great plan. I should do that too. Mike Birch, what's going on? I'm all squinting at the screen. Should put my glasses back on, shouldn't I? Butch Brown, howdy, says he hasn't been here in a while. Well, glad to have you back. I need to put it on my phone so I can actually see it better and then not get as behind. That's what I was gonna do, but then I didn't. So let's laugh. See if I can get into my thing here real quick so I can see what's happening. Is that right now? Yeah, here we go. There we go. Now I'll be able to live life. Live, laugh, love, or something. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Now I can scroll back and see what's going on. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I'm sorry. Auntie Ann says, I know I've been missing y'all. I know. Butler Family Farm, howdy. West House, hi. Drops Family Garden. Or they can jag off. I must have missed something else. I take a bath once a month. Okay, that was that. All right, I must have missed something else there in the middle. Let's see. Glenn and Shannon, Salty Life, howdy. Let me guess, 25 projects at once. Well, not quite. We, we're still working on finishing the shop, because, as we have time and money to get materials, we're going at it that way. And so we actually did work on that this last week and added another wall, and it's ready to have basically the roof put on it for the loft, so that the rest of that storage can be moved up there. So then we'll have the that'll free up more space in the shop, for the things that we don't use as frequently, and it'll also free up some space in the garage, because there's things like my Christmas tree and my ornaments boxes that they don't need to be, I don't need to have access to them all year round. I just, although I will need them soon. So I don't know if putting them up in the rafters right now would be the best bet, but there is some stuff of Mike's in the garage that can go up in the rafters that will free up space in the garage, allowing me to kind of like get that pantry a little bit more organized than it is currently. And there's a refrigerator in there that we have to get out of there that's dead. Like it died a very ugly death. So we need to get it going. Get it going. That's right. Get it going. So let's see. But let's see. Did you see David's video of him rescuing Mike and Lissa and then picking up the goats from Tara and Jason? I saw part of it. I did not finish it. It was a long video, and I have honestly just been scrambling to kind of keep my head above water this whole week. So I'm finally feeling better. I'm not having to blow my nose every 5 minutes. I don't feel congested anymore. And I did go get my nerve blocker and steroid shot last week. And knock on wood, seems to have helped. So I'm very grateful and thankful for that. It seems to be doing the trick. So, but no, I've been very bad this last week about keeping up on everybody's videos, and I started to watch part of that one. And then I got pulled away into something else and couldn't finish watching it. So, but I know it happened. I know it happened, David Glunt. Joe Payne says, I was wondering what was going on. I was going to drive to Mississippi and holler and see how you're all doing. Yeah, we're fine. We just got behind on footage that made sense to put into a video, if that makes sense. When the way that I try to film, and I don't even know if this is noticeable to people viewing it from the outside or not, but I try to, even when I have a video where we're doing a lot of different things or there's a lot happening in the video, I try to make it cohesive. But these were videos where I was basically, there was some kind of odds and ends, and then I was basically like filming Mike doing things and Frankie doing things, but there was like, it didn't make sense in the context of the way I was putting it together. So I still had other pieces I needed to film for it, but some of those things hinged on some sponsorship stuff that we were doing and whatever. So it basically just got us behind, but we're fine. Everybody's fine. And like I said, we will be back on schedule. So make sure you check out Friday's video. I've already started it, editing it, and I will finish editing it and getting that uploaded so it will post on Friday, and we'll be back on our normal schedule. Sucks they make it so hard for you. I'm sure they make sure they are getting their money from the, yeah, exactly, their money from us. Yeah, so that's, and that's just the nature of sponsorships. Like, just like we're out to protect ourselves and our best interests, so are they. But sometimes you'll get the impression that they're kind of trying to take advantage of you and hoping there's some naivete there and that you're willing to put up with certain things, and I don't. So I call them on it, and then I say, well, if you want that, that's great. We didn't negotiate that earlier. That will be an extra blank added to your fee, depending on what it is, And sometimes they say, oh, no, that's fine. Never mind. We don't need that. Or other times they'll say, sure, we'll add that to the payment. And I'm like, okay, works for me. So, it's all good. It's all good and hood. So, oh, I think I might have missed an ad popping up for you guys. I usually try to cancel them, but I just saw it popped up on my phone, so I don't know. So, we'll see. Dana Mason, hello. Tim and I are lurking, just not home. Took a little road trip to get away. Nice. Barbie, hello. Trying to catch up on some comments here. James Hall, what's going on? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, guys. I don't see Paul Honeyman in the chat, so I hope he's okay, because I know he's been up and down with the stuff. New penthouse for Bunko. That's right. I don't know. He's kind of funny. He doesn't really try to get up high on stuff. Like, he doesn't really climb trees. He does a little bit, but only to a certain point. He'll only get on the storm shelter. That's about as high as he likes to get. He's not a climber. He's not a climber. So I don't think he'll be hopping up in the rafters up there. He likes to kind of sleep. Like, he likes to get into the shop rag box and curl up when it's left open. So Oh, he's having internet issues. Okay, good. I'm glad it's just internet issues and he's not like sick or something. So supposed to get down into the high 50s here in the DFW area in the next few weeks. I'm telling you, fall is knocking at the door. It cooled down considerably. I can tell that the bugs are having their one final hurrah. I've seen them. Like I've had some, you know, those little gnats that bite. I don't know what they're called, but they eat me up. And man, I got ate up the other night. I got bites all over my legs and arms. And but they're doing their like last gasp before they go back to the depths of the hellfires from whence they came before, you know, fall and winter hit. But you know, what you do. The Peanut Farm. What's up, Lucy? I'm finally able to catch a live show. I've been so caught up with life that I have missed everyone. I hear that home skillet. I hear it. Big Country, what's going on? What's going on? Have you been able to use the hot tub to see if it helps you? You know, I haven't. And I actually had to, we did the hot tub, set it up or whatever. And then I left. And I had given Mike some chemicals to put in it to like help keep it, you know, so it doesn't just turn into a swamp. But I don't know what happened when I was gone. That didn't occur. So anyway, I had to drain it when I got back. And I have not cleaned it out and refilled it yet. But I will at some point. I did take a nice hot bath while I was in my hotel room one day. So does that count? I don't know. But I do love the hot tub. Like it's great. I just haven't had a chance to use it yet. I will. Part of it too is it's been so flipping hot outside this fall and like in the spring. I'm sure we will be in that thing a lot. But this time of year, like it was like August and it was like nobody wants to be in a hot tub outside in August. Like, I mean, I don't mind it, but like, I don't know. I'm weird. But even so, like I would be out there by myself because nobody would want to sit in there in the soup with me, I guess. So I don't know. Said if your area is anything like ours, if you put the fridge down at the end of the road, a scrapper will take it away in a day or two. Yeah, so there is a guy that we actually had him come and pick up a chest freezer. I just have to find him again, like find his number. I think my husband has it. We just have to call him and we'll just pop it down there, put, you know, I think the forks are already on Kenny. Just shove the fridge on there and pop it down and he can just come get it, you know, when he wants. But we'll see. That's good because I only post on Rumble, said Drops Family Garden. Must have missed something else there. I don't know. Jerry Jones, howdy, howdy. SW, good evening. Sorry, I'm behind on these comments. That's what happens if I talk for a minute and I'm by myself. It is like a thing. Be right back. Okay. We'll hold down the fort, Auntie Ann. Don't worry. Let's see. How is the raised bed doing? It's doing pretty well. He did. So I guess while I was gone, he forgot about it. So he lost a few things in it because I don't know if he forgot to water it or he said something happened and I can't remember what it was now because I am not the gardener. But he lost some of the things in it because I think it was one of those things where he just forgot it was there because it was new and it wasn't on his radar. And so, and then it was so hot here while I was gone. And we have had like, well, we did get rain since I've been back a little bit. But we've had like, before that, we'd had no rain for like 3 weeks. And then all the hoses broke at once. It's just been like weird, like everything, like stupid little things, but all time consuming and costly, like not costly, like little costly things that kind of add up. Like when you have to replace a bunch of hoses at once, like, you know, and one of them he had just bought and it was like literally had only been using it for about a month and a half and it popped. And then, yeah, and then my hose popped and I had gotten him 2 new hoses and they were a really good deal. Why is it not showing me those today? That's super weird. It's not giving me the option to skip ads on my side today, you guys. I'm going to have to research that. Normally it pops up, but I can just say, don't show an ad right now while I'm live, but it's not giving me that option today. So my apologies because that's what I've been doing. So I don't know. I'll have to figure something else out for the future. For the future. I don't know what's happening. Um, but but yeah, just stupid little things that add up like that are just like, the hoses are ridiculously expensive. I did get, like I said, I did get those 2 good ones when we went to Memphis to return Lillian. I did get those 2 good hoses. They were 100-foot, like commercial style hoses for $25 a piece. Normally, a 100-foot hose at like Walmart's almost $100. It's like 70 something bucks, I think. So I should have bought like 100 of those hoses because so far they seem like they're Aces quality. So I don't know, but old man King Homestead says he's got to go feed the chickens, but he won't be in chat, but he'll be listening. That's all right. I did, Wanda Henry. Thank you. I don't know if I classify it as a vacation, which because a lot of people were saying like, oh, you're going on vacation. I'm like, it didn't feel like vacation. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it was good to go and see my family and everything, but it didn't feel like a vacation. I didn't do anything like fun or extravagant really. I spent a lot of time with my mom and she only likes to go to the Outback by her house. So I probably spent a total of 3 full days in Outback, like just sitting in the booth, like with her. So it wasn't like I was going to like these. I did go to a couple neat restaurants. My one friend did take me out to. Actually, I only went to one really cool restaurant. Now that I think about it, he took me out to a really cool restaurant. We've been friends since elementary school, and we met at this little area, kind of not too far from my hotel, but like in a nicer area of downtown. That's like technically not downtown, but it's basically downtown. A lot safer. And it was this wonderful little Italian place, and we had a great time. And he bought me dinner there. But that was like the only nice restaurant that I went to. Like I kind of did this trip kind of like cheaply. And then one night we had dinner at the beach that my girlfriend and her husband packed, and we went to the beach and did a bonfire. And so that was, I still didn't pay for it, but I got to eat it. But yeah, it was like, it wasn't really a vacation. It was really touching base with everybody. And I wasn't like, I would say last time it was more of a vacation when Beth and Jen and I went. We did some cool stuff. We went to some cool restaurants. We did more of that kind of stuff. This time was more just like me going, see the people, do those things. And not like doing the touristy stuff or the fun stuff, and if that makes sense. So, sorry, I babbled for a minute there. My cat, I swear, if it's not this cat yelling at me because I'm inside, it's the outside cat yelling at me. They always want to be on my lap, which is fine. I love cuddling with them, but they're very vocal about it. Yes, it's nice to get away and always nice to get back home. I was ready to come home, that's for sure. I was. And then my flight, which I think I told you guys, my flight was delayed coming home. So I ended up stuck in, where was I? Baltimore for an extra couple of hours in the airport. And then by the time I got back, they were having issues. So like I parked my truck at the airport, and then you have to go through like the toll booth to like pay for your parking when you leave. And unfortunately, they were like, it wasn't working properly. So like every single person had to like run their card a few times before it would like see their card. And so it was taking forever for everybody to get out of there. So I was probably in that line for like 20 minutes just trying to like exit. And there was only like 3 cars ahead of me. So that was kind of like, but then I finally got home. By the time I got home, it was like 9 o'clock at night. So it was a long day of traveling. I had been up since 2 that morning. And then it was not, well, I mean, there was a time shift in there, but still, it was a lot. It was a lot. I was very tired. I was very tired after that. So you thought it was your cat meowing at you? No, it's my little bum down here. My little bum. Lots of different breeds of chickens. I love it. Your lab kitty's 18 years old. Drop. Oh my goodness. Possum Run, Homestead. Mama V is in the house. What's going on? What's going on? Roosters go to freezer camp. Sometimes if they're jerks, I send mine to freezer camp when they're jerks. 100%. I still have a handful. I have like, what is it? 7 Cornish cross left that we did not process because we ran out of time before Freedom Weekend. And then we were like, we'll do it after. And then it was like a bunch of other stuff happened. So I'm going to actually move them when I move the turkeys to the other paddock. And when we process them, we'll process them out and just get her done. I don't know why this keeps showing me ads, but this is not letting me skip them. That's frustrating. I'm gonna have to figure it out. Mama V says she's making dinner. She's making dinner, but she's listening. So don't be mad if Mama V doesn't say hi because she's not reading her screen. She's just listening. If I knew you were at BWI, I would have come and visited. I know. And I was only supposed to be there for a little while. It was supposed to be I think it was just basically an hour, which doesn't give you much time. You disembark and then you go pee and then it's time to start boarding. Well, there was a delay and then they shifted it. And so then they called us to get in line. And then it was another hour and something before we actually got on the plane. So it was a while I was there. I think we landed it. I'm trying to remember what time we landed there. I think we landed at like noon or 12:30 and we were supposed to leave at like, I don't know. I don't remember now because there's time changes in there too, so it gets confusing. But all I know is we didn't take off until like almost, I think it was like 4:30 Baltimore time. So we were there for like a while before we got to leave. So they're surprised they're still able to move around the Cornish. Yeah. So the difference is with mine is because I pasture them the way that I do, they do stay a lot more active and healthy longer. And I've actually done experiments over the years where I've let them live longer. I've had them, where the girls are laying eggs and like whatever. They don't tend to do as well like I've kept them over a year before just to see what would happen. I had like 2 or 3 that I was like, these are my holdovers, just to see what would happen. And what happened with that batch, because you remember every batch is a little different because the way they're crossbred, they're little monsters. This particular batch would lose like, there was basically patches where they had like no feathers, and a couple of them started to get sunburned. So we ended up processing them out. And it wasn't from like pulling or plucking, they just went away. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It would be like, it looked like they had been waxed. Like, and it was just like raw chicken skin that was like cooked because it had gotten sun. I don't know how else to describe it. But they were just kind of, I mean, they tasted fine. You definitely took the skin off of those because the skin was tough from basically being leathered in the sun. But these guys will be fine. Like, we'll process them, once it cools down a little bit and we do the turkeys, we'll process these guys and, have a few more meat chickens in the freezer. But they've been moving around because we just moved them from before Freedom Weekend. We moved them from the tractor down in the pasture up with the chickens, my laying hens and stuff, since there was only a few of them left. So that just kind of like, they're moving around. They're not just sitting there eating. So they tend to do better longer. You know what I mean? But if you keep them in a real small pen where they're just like butt up against each other and they have no room to waddle around, then they don't do as well. Because I've done it many different ways, and I find I like to give them a little bit more space. It takes them longer to get bigger, but I feel like the meat's better and they're more active, and you lose less of them to just like dropping dead from sheer size. That's for sure, because that does happen sometimes where they just like literally have a heart attack and die, or get heat stroke because their body can't handle it and they die. So they're not super heat tolerant anyway. That's right, Greg. Don't forget to hit that thumb. Don't be a bum. Hit that thumb. Well, a hen can live a lot longer than 2 years, but her laying life does start to reduce. Even actually after her first season, it starts to reduce a little bit. By the 3rd year, it's noticeable. By the 5th year, very noticeable, if not almost completely gone. But again, a lot of that depends on diet and lifestyle. I guess just like with us. But yeah, so you can have a chicken that'll live 10 years. They probably aren't laying anymore. But I know a lot of people that have like little retirement hen villages where they just kind of let their old hens go, and that's fine. Usually for me, there's been a few birds in my life that I'm like, oh, this one I'll let it retire. But then that's always the one that a predator gets. Like I had my little Henrietta that was a little Orpington that was like my buddy, and predator got her. It was like a possum or a skunk because they ripped her head off. And then Rory, which was our little silky that had hatched out so many of our birds early on when we were starting chickens, she ended up getting really, really sick when she was about 7, and I couldn't save her. And I had to have Mike put her down because she was in real bad shape, and I was like, I can't save her. I've tried everything and nothing's working, and she's suffering now. And so I had to make Mike put her down because I couldn't do it. She was like my favorite chicken. I was like, I can't do it. If I had to, I could, but I was like, I don't want to. So I always make Mike do the hard ones for me. The ones that I'm attached to, I'm like, you do it. I'm not doing it. Yeah, 5,800 square foot run. That's nice. That's a good area. And like with ours, we have the actual run that's built off of the coop, but then that opens up, and then we have the electric fencing that we move. So they have fresh areas of pasture to go to that's part of their run. So that changed. And right now it's actually shrunk because we only did 1 panel of fencing. So it's actually really small right now, but we're going to open it back up hopefully this weekend, and actually move them again, because I guess he wanted them to focus on this one area that they wouldn't focus on if we had given them more room. So he kind of like concentrated them to like get them to like weed this one area out, and they did. So now we got to move them to the other side and let them clear out around the other trees on the opposite end of the shop. So we'll let them kind of dig in there and clean all that up, and then in the winter you don't have to move them really for a few months, because there's no point. You can still move them. There's still a point. I shouldn't say that, because they're still defecating and you still want to kind of spread that, but you're not moving them at the same pace maybe you would if they're eating the pasture, if that makes sense, because there's nothing to eat. There's no pasture to eat. So I'd like to have those big chickens that get over 3 feet tall, like an ostrich. Listening from the church parking lot. That's right, Jen. Oh, I forgot to text you. Remind me to text you about somebody that texted me that we know from San Diego. I guess I can say it here. Doesn't matter. Barb reached out, and she's coming for a visit. Maybe. Anyway, we'll text. We'll see. Oh, it's a chicken, but they are huge. Oh, all right. Oh, I think I've seen what you've been talking about, what you're talking about. It's like some Indonesian chicken or something, and it's this weird, it's not Indonesian, but it's some weird little country somewhere that it's only there or whatever. I think I know what you're talking about. How do I turn off top chat? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, Lucy. Do you mean the live chat? I don't know. I'm not sure about that. If anybody knows, it would be Auntie Anne. But I'm also not super top messages. I don't know. Mine just says live chat top. So I don't know. Lonely Hitchhiker Kent, hello. And congratulations. I saw you had some good news this week. I'm only seeing a few people. I don't know how to, that's maybe under settings. What happens if I click settings? Oh, there you go. Okay, I found it. So when you're on the live chat, there's the scissor thing, and then there's the settings cog. Click that, and then there's a chat filter. And you can do it from there. Oh, I see mine's doing that too. Huh. I don't know. There. Magic. Magic. Be nice, Jen. Be nice. We'll see. I don't think she'll actually end up coming for a visit, but it was one of her, like, maybe she will. We'll see. I'll fill you in later. Yeah, you're welcome. I don't know. I figured it out while I was sitting here messing with it. Because this screen is very different from this screen. So I was like, maybe it's probably on this one because I don't know what she's talking about. I had never noticed that. Mine said that too. Now it says all. I had never noticed that until you brought that up. That's crazy. That's crazy. Way up. That's right. I know. But yeah, so pretty much going to be working on that and a few other things this weekend. They did start working on Frankie's 72 Chevy this week. So that video will be out next week. Well, it's going to be out this week. It's part of the delay. So that'll be out next Friday. That video will go live. And in the meantime, I think they're going to work on the next piece that they were going to work on with the truck. So I'll be able to kind of put a couple truck videos of her working on the truck out in the next little bit here. So that'll be good. Yeah, it's not giving me any warning here at all. It's so weird. I mean, they are, Neil. They are. Those are big chicken breeds, yes. But there's another one. I've seen video of it. It's some like random weird chicken, and it's literally like big. You know, you saw a sneak peek on Facebook. Frankie must have posted something because I didn't. Oh, I did post something. That's right. I forgot. That was actually off of Frankie's TikTok. So those of you that, oh, there's more deer out in the yard again. Nice. I love it when the deer come out. Anyway, Frankie's got Frankie Fix It 7, which is her TikTok channel that she started to. She's very, very close to having enough subscribers that she can get monetized. Last time I checked, which I haven't checked at all today, last time I checked, she was 50 away from being monetized on TikTok. So her plan is to be able to get some sponsorships of things that she would need to help fix the truck and to have a little bit of income from that to help pay for the things that she needs to buy to fix up the truck. So no, it was my post, but I forgot I did it. Because that's funny. Like, let me see. And now I'm curious how many subscribers she's got now. If I can figure out what is your damage, Heather. Stop. There it is. Let's see where she's at here. Oh, she's over 1,000 now. She gained like 70 subscribers since yesterday. So that's good. So we actually did we did a video not yesterday, day before yesterday. The three of us for her TikTok, and it turned out pretty cute. It turned out pretty cute. So anyway, So now I gotta figure out for her the whole monetization thing for her on there now that she's hit that mark. We'll see. I don't think so, Vincent Evans. They're kind of like, I don't know. I just remember seeing video of it. A couple people had sent it to me over the years. Um, but I don't do TikTok. I can barely keep up with Facebook and YouTube. I know. I get it too. I don't like editing. Well, it's kind of like doing shorts on YouTube. I don't like editing the shorts because I haven't figured out how to be able to do it on my regular software on the computer. I've tried and I've failed every time. So I have to edit it on my phone and I hate editing on my phone and it's a pain. But anyway, Frankie likes doing TikTok because that definitely speaks more to her generation and definitely more like fast pace, and it's not as big a time commitment as like putting out a 20-minute YouTube video. You know what I mean? She can take short clips of everything she's doing, put it together, and there's her TikTok, So she likes doing that. I know a lot of people don't do TikTok. I know, I get it. But definitely in her age group and like that world, it's popular. It's popular. A Malay chicken. There you go. Chicken that's ready to rumble. That's right. That's right. Have the mosquitoes out there been bad? Our desert wonderland. It's funny. We were talking about that not that long ago. The bugs this year, I feel like have been really mild. And I don't know if it's just because it happened to be that way this year. I don't know if the influx of cicadas that we had this year had anything to do with that. Because we had that crazy swarm of all the hatchings at once, where you could like walk outside and get smacked in the face with a cicada. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I do feel like just like every year, the wasps were still wasping. And really, especially bad in the spring. Like you walk outside, if you walk out too close to a nest, they just attack. Like they're the devil. But mosquitoes, I haven't really had, and mosquitoes love me, by the way. I'm very popular in the mosquito crowd. But I have not, knock on wood, had it bad. However, I was just saying earlier, in fact, I was scratching my leg. I did notice I don't remember what they're called, but why does I feel like my hat is just crooked on my head or my head is crooked? I don't know. Everything feels crooked. The little gnats that bite you, there's a breed of gnat or a species of gnat that bite. And they love me. And you don't feel them biting, but they itch afterwards, kind of like a mosquito, but the bites themselves look different. And I got ate up by those gnats. And then I also think I may have gotten a spider bite in there or two as well. But we were working in the shop. I was doing stuff and moving stuff. And so I got ate up by stuff like that. But the mosquitoes have not been bad. I feel like they haven't. Which they should have been, I feel like, because of the kind of weather we had in the beginning of the summer. But it did get awfully dry, awfully quick, and then we didn't get any rain. So I'm sure that probably has something to do with it. So it's a young people thing. I know we don't qualify as young people anymore, Auntie Ann, as much as we try sometimes. Yeah, Mom. She'll be like, Mom, that's so old. And she'll call me boomer. And I'm like, that is not even my generation, homegirl. Like, anyway, she's like, I know, but it's just a saying. And I'm like, but that's where it came from. Like, that's not it. So I don't know. Brahmas are huge. We have them. Our rooster is a beast, but super sweet. Yes, they are. They're very sturdy chickens for sure. It was too hot for an abundance of mosquitoes. It probably was. And just lack of, at least in our area, we didn't get our normal like summer rains that we normally get. We never really had, Like usually there we get 1 or 2 a month, like really good summer storms where it's like we get a good drenching and it cools everything off and water. We didn't really get that. Like we didn't get rain for like, what did I say? I think it was like 3 weeks. It was dry. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's just kind of depends, I think, on how that all ends up shaking out. No, like, well, it is with everything, but it was kind of sitting cockeyed. And so when I would turn my head, it felt like the bill of my hat was off to the side, and I don't know, it's still messing me up. I Oh no, Jobs Family Garden says since Paul's not here, he has to act up. David says he doesn't get too many mosquitoes here, but I think it's because I have marigolds planted all over. Yep. Yep. Well, and I do have, I mean, also my Muscovies will eat flying bugs. So they really do help keep down on the flies and things like that. So they could be eating the mosquitoes as well. I mean, I don't have a ton of Muscovy, but I have, I have a few. So Brian Wilkerson, hello. What's going on? What's going on? Oh gosh. I was looking all over the kitchen to find the lid for the butter and then realized it was on the tub already. That's too funny. Yeah. We did get a lot of mosquitoes this year, but the gnats and the flies made up for them. Yep. Or we didn't get a lot of mosquitoes. Yes, that's true. The flies, yeah, the flies were kind of bad this year. And the ants were anting. I mean, I killed them so many times, so many times. But I started later in the season trying to kill them, and that was part of the problem. I got to get on it early and like whoop them into submission. So, Brian, Vineyard Farmhouse, what's going on? Our Desert Wonderland, thank you in advance. I am new to your channel. What areas would you recommend to buy land in Mississippi? We have a 12-year-old daughter also looking to possibly relocate to Mississippi. Thanks again. Cool. I'm assuming you're saying Desert Wonderland, so I'm thinking like maybe you're in Arizona or New Mexico or somewhere in the Southwest, just from the desert reference. I would say definitely, like for us, one of the reasons why we picked northern Mississippi is because, and we actually did a few videos on this that really break it down. If you look at, I think it's on our playlist of, it either says going to Mississippi or leaving California. One of those, I think it's leaving California. But we talk about like what we were looking for in each, like in the area we were looking for and why. So the dumbed down version of it is we basically looked in a rectangle of zoning for like weather and planting. Like we didn't want to live somewhere where the winters were going to be so extreme, and then we didn't want to be so far south that we were in hurricane territory. So because basically if you're moving to the south, you're going to have tornadoes, right? That's like a given. But you don't have to have the added like, oh, and also a hurricane. Like we were like, let's do one or the other, let's not do both. So we decided to stay further north enough that we do get some nice cold weather, we do get some snow flurries, but nothing like we got 12 feet of snow, nothing like that. And then we looked at like the schools in the areas, how far away is the nearest town to the area where we were looking. So we're like just inside of an hour to the nearest big city. And to our actual closest town, it's like 15 minutes, which isn't bad. And so you just kind of have to look at some of those things and then, figure out too the area that you're looking, like the zoning for it. Most places out here, the zoning is not going to be a problem. But yeah, so. But we're partial to our area, but I mean, I think even a little bit further south, I would say like north of Jackson, not anywhere near Jackson. And then unless you wanted to really be like, if you wanted to be on the ocean, like be on the Gulf, then do that. But like, just think about hurricanes. Like you just have to think about like what that is gonna translate to, and it's gonna be humid everywhere, but certain areas it's a little bit more humid because of the geography of everything. So, but that's it. That's my take on it. Oh, there we go, Cindy Brown. Hey, I haven't seen you in a minute, Cindy. Good gravy. What's going on? Yeah, there it is. Leaving California playlist. Yeah. So it should have we did break it down in a lot more detail, like how we looked at the crime rate for different areas and what questions we asked ourselves and like all of that. But yeah, it was because it was a stressful thing, like picking up and moving. And I didn't see where or if you said back down here. Oh, thank you, Cindy. Yeah, her truck it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be. She's not that much farther from us, Glenn. Lucy's like, Lucy, aren't you only like an hour and a half away from us, like south? I feel like. I'm trying to remember. I can never remember where everybody lives. But I remember you saying it didn't take you long to get here. Trying to see if they said where they were from. Yes, in Arizona. Yeah. So, I would say personally, I don't know how much time you've spent in the South. I don't know how familiar you are with it. I don't know if you grew up somewhere else and ended up in Arizona. But I would say if you can, like, take a little trip to some of the areas that you're thinking about after you've done your initial research, just to kind of see, like, oh, I like this terrain better, or oh, I want more mountains, or like, oh, I don't like this state at all. Whatever. Like, and then, obviously looked at other things like, the taxes and some of the laws about things and just some of the things that, are important to you is basically kind of what it breaks down to, in my opinion. So that's kind of how we did it. But hopefully, I mean, pick through that playlist. I know there's a few videos on there where we really kind of like explained it and like delved into like why we chose where we chose. And at the end of the day, ending up where we ended up was literally only because we found this property that checked all our boxes. So, if we had found a property in that same rectangle, but it happened to be in East Texas, we would have moved to East Texas. So it wasn't like we were gunning for any one particular state. We just knew we wanted this area where the weather was like this, in an area that wasn't too close to a major city, that had good schools, that had a low crime rate, that checked all those boxes. And then we found this place. And we got very, very, very lucky, very blessed with this spot. But, we did land in the best area. We did. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't, Kevin, yeah, Oxford, I'm not a big fan of. Yeah. I mean, I guess technically that's like really North Mississippi. That's like barely over the border. You're still too close to Memphis, for, for that. But like, yeah. So, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that area. Then you're getting like there's parts of South Haven that aren't bad or whatever, but it's too much city. So trip is planned in October. Perfect. That's a great time to travel in the South too, because the fall is beautiful in the South. Like there's some beautiful areas, of course, in Tennessee. One of the reasons, because I was really leaning towards like Tennessee or East Texas, and I don't know if this has changed in the last couple of years, but for a while there, because there was such a mass exodus from certain states, we kind of were getting priced out of like buying anything in those areas. So, and then also when they were hitting the market, they were just gone. So that was, one factor for kind of like leaning away from those two states or areas. But I will say, you know, depending on where exactly you're wanting to end up or what your things you're trying to figure out are, you'll find the perfect spot for yourself. But yeah, definitely I would look at that playlist. I know there's a couple videos on there where we really kind of got into it and like geeked out on it a little bit. Because it's stressful moving halfway across the country. There's a lot of things to consider. Um, and especially it sounds like you just want to buy land, so you're going to be building your house and all of that. That's a lot, a lot of an undertaking. Sid and Mike were very methodical in their plans for the property they needed. We really tried to consider everything because we really loved where we were, right? We just hated that it was in California. Like we loved our little plot of land. We loved our house. We had put a lot of work into it. We were finally getting it to where we were like, yeah, it's looking really good. And then it was like, but we need to leave. We can't stay here. So finding a place that really met our criteria was super important to us, because then it was like, well, if we leave that and we end up in a dump or in an area that we really hate, we're not going to be happy, so it was important. And Jen and Will were definitely pushing for Mississippi too, because they were our friends Will's from Mississippi, but we met them in California, and Jen and I have been friends for years. And so we knew eventually they were going to move out here to Mississippi. So they kept saying, don't ignore Mississippi, like look at Mississippi. And so I had added it to like my little area. Well, we had added it to the area, but I kept specifically checking certain areas in kind of northern Mississippi, the upper half of the state, really. From Jackson North, basically, is where I was looking, and happened to find this place. And then they got their place like 20 minutes from us. So, it all works out. It all works out. So that's good. You don't think you can move that far from the ocean? See, I'm not, it's funny. Growing up in California, growing up bicycling by the beach with my dad, by the bay, all that good stuff. Thank you, Brian. I never really liked the beach. I don't like sand. I rather have a pool. I don't know. Like it was cool. Like I went, when I was back home, I went to Mount Soledad and I looked at the ocean. That was enough. That was enough oceaning for me. It was nice and far away and I could see it. And that was enough. Like, yeah, I'm just not, same situation with our ranch here in Arizona. Yeah. So just, I would just say you'll know when you find the right spot, because that's how it felt for us. But it was still nerve-wracking and still hard. When we didn't go the typical route where we just like picked up and moved to a plot of land and we're living in an RV and building as we went, because Mike still had to be able to work. So we needed him to have internet right away. So that for us eliminated a lot of areas. We had found some places we really liked in Arkansas, but we couldn't go there because they didn't have internet yet. And so that, these were all factors. And this place just happened to have gotten internet like 2 months before we bought the place. And it's the best internet I've ever had in my life. The internet we had in California was crappy and 4 times as expensive compared to this. So, that being said, it is what it is, but you'll find a good spot. But feel free to reach out if you have any specific questions that maybe something in those videos doesn't answer, or I didn't answer for you here, that you want to pick my brain on. I'd be happy to try to help you if I can. So Oklahoma and Arkansas didn't have enough fiber. I know they didn't. Well, in the places I looked at, and I did go house hunting physically in Oklahoma when I was there for one of the meetups, and all of the properties I could see into my neighbor's yard, and they were only like 5 acres. And I was like, this is not the business. This is not the business. Like, I don't have anybody that can see into my yard now in California. Why would I want to move to a place where I can literally see my neighbor, like, look in through my window? That's what I'm trying to get away from. Like, I want my privacy. I want my space. And so all the places we looked at in Oklahoma were kind of like off the list. There was none that we found that we were like, oh yeah, that's the one. They're just wasn't gonna happen. So my dog hears your cat and is looking for the cats. I'm within 5 miles of the beach and haven't been since high school, and that was a long time ago. That's right, Neil. See, I mean, that's one of those things. That's one of those things. I'm telling you. All right, guys. Well, my time here is up. Back then you still had to get on a list for Starlink, so you couldn't just like have it right away. So I don't know if that's changed now, but a couple years ago that you had to be on the list, and so we needed it for sure. But anyway, guys, I know SLR is not doing lives at 7 for the time being, so I know there's a Pretty and Pooch are on right now. You can go check them out. And then at 8 o'clock, you got MT Homestead. And then you got Brian at Vineyard Farmhouse after that. So there you have it. I hope you all have a fabulous night. I will be posting a new video Friday, come hell or high water. I promise. And remember, guys, safety's off.